morning, students. In this session, we are going to discuss about files and shared preferences in the Android Studio. Myself, Dr. Shirisha, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, MLR Institute of Technology. Files and shared preferences. Android provides many ways for storing the data of an application. And one of this way is called as a shared preferences. So, for storing the data, if you have to work on the data, you have to store the data and work on it. So, for which we need a shared preference. It allows you to save the data and retrieve the data in the form of key value pairs. So, that is the use of shared preference. In order to use a shared preference, we have to call the method getSharedPreferences. So, how we are using getText.toString when the user is giving some input and you wanted to extract that input, then we are going to use this getText. Okay, getText.toString. Similarly, getSharedPreferences is used to retrieve the shared preferences that have been created. And that returns the shared preference instance pointing to the file that contains the values of the preferences. Okay. Now, how in the programming, in the code, how do we write for shared preferences is you have to take a shared preferences class with an object. GetSharedPreferences. GetSharedPreferences is used to retrieve the data that is already been saved, and the parameters that you are going to pass is myPreferences context.modePrivate. Yep, mode that you are going to extract this code of content or data of shared preferences private. So this is a name, user defined name that we are giving for as a my preferences for the shared preference that is saved. So here there are different modes as we have given private there. Apart from private, we also have different modes. The first parameter will be the key and the second parameter is a mode. Okay. Apart from private, there are also other modes that we have. So mode underscore append. Append means what? Whenever there are some existing preferences and you wanted to add few more preferences to the existing one, then this will append the new preferences with the already existed shared preferences. And enable write ahead logging. Write ahead logging means database open flag. When you open your data flag and when it is set, it would enable the write ahead logging by default. Means what? Write ahead logging means it would enable the write operations. Means whenever you are writing, so you have to, this is a line and you have to start it from here. So from here when you wanted to start your writing, not backwards, towards front you are writing, means forward direction. That means ahead. Okay, logging by default. So mode multi-process. Mode multi-process means it will check for modification of the preferences even if shared preference instance is already had been loaded. So multi-process means multiple shared preferences values can be extracted and they can easily get modified by using this mode multi-process. And mode private. By setting this mode, the file can only be accessed using calling application. Private. When you call that, then only it will be extracted. When it is public, it will be always open to read or to write. So mode world readable. So this mode allow other application to read the preferences because it is like something like a public world readable. Okay, world readable means it is already open. And world writable, it allow other application to write the preferences. If you don't want to give either read or write permissions, then you have to make it as a private. This mode will set up when it can only be accessed when it is calling it. And we can say something in the shared preference by using editor class, and you edit the method of shared preference instance and will receive it an editor object. What is that? editor is an object which you have created for the editor class, and shared preferences dot edit method is used for editing the shared preference. Editor dot put string, when you wanted to edit, you have to write something. When you wanted to write something, the method that we are going to use is a put string. So put string, again, shared preferences means in the form of key value pair, so key comma value. Editor dot commit. Okay, so it will be executed. Whatever you wanted to write, that write performance, that writing part can be enabled and can be executed. So apart from put string method, there are other methods in editor class for doing different manipulations. Apply, clear, remove. What is apply? Apply is abstract method. It will commit your changes back from the editor to shared preferences object. It will commit your changes back from the editor shared preferences object that you are calling. Clear will remove all the values from the editor, means that is clear. Remove string key. It will remove the values whose key has been passed as a parameter, because when you wanted to store the data in the form of key value pair, there are cases where you wanted to remove them also. So when you are going to remove, so you have to pass the key value, then only its value may be removed, or whenever you pass your value, then only its respective key will be removed, for which you use this remove string key. These are the other methods we have. Put long. Put long is used to save the long value in the preference editor. Long value again in the key value pair, but you are giving the type. You are changing the type of value as a long, because the length of your value will be length will be longer than the previous one or than the existing one. Put int. String key int value. It will save the integer value in the preference editor. So integer value will be saved in the preference editor. So that is the reason we are giving int. So put int, put long, everything in the key value pair only, but the difference is one will be length will be longer, the other length will be of simple integer type. Then put float, again floating type value can be given. So here only the difference is put long, put int, put float, all these are used, put string, all these are used to place the value of that particular, of that respective type of data will be saved as a value. Now let us see one example for the shared preferences in the Android Studio. So this is one example for shared preferences. Where we have designed the XML part using the relative layout rather than the linear layout. Relative layout with 2 text view and 3 edit text and 1 button with the required properties. And you know that edit text will be given a low width, height and the ID. These are the basic thing. And since we are using a relative layout, we have to give layout below, layout center horizontal, and layout align parent top. Okay. Layout below, or below what type of component you need to place your existing component. So all that properties need to be given. So one we have taken it for text view for shared preference heading, the other text view for example, other edit text for name, and other edit text for name and password. Okay, name, password, email ID and button. One button we have taken. Now if you go to strings.xml, this is the name of our application, which is shared preferences that we have given it here. Then Android manifest file, when you are giving a shared preference, so here you need to give the package name com.example.sharedpreference. How you will get this package name is when you create your application in the main activity.java, you will be having com.example.sharedpreference. The same you have to give it in the manifest file as a package name. So your application is given, your activity is given, intent filter is there. So this is all by default you will be having. Okay, so once your manifest file editing is over, then go to your main activity. Whatever the design part you have designed, for that we have to extract them. So 3 edit text and 1 button. So we have used their classes. Then public static my preference, which is preference name, we are giving it as my prefs, name key, phone key, email key. These are the names that we have given. Now for shared preferences, we are going to extract both 3 of the edit text and put it in ed1, ed2, ed3 respectively. Now button, when it is clicked, you have to write get shared preferences, and the mode we have used is a private. No one can read, no one can write, only read and write until this application is executed. Button, when it is clicked, you are retrieving the edit text dot get text, means ed1 dot get text, ed2 dot get text, ed3 dot get text, retrieve the data that user has been given. Now we are editing the editor, that is a shared preference, and your put string is used to write that into your shared preference. So name, phone and email, whatever the 3 we have taken. So N, P, H and E, you are trying to put all these, retrieve them and put it in the shared preference. So this is what we have done. And what one toast message that we have given is a text called thanks. This is what we have done. Now let us execute this and check your module whether your target SDK is matching or not. It is 34. Okay, now go to your 34 and run the program. Okay, now launch succeeded. Now shared preferences, and you have to give the name, password and your email. Just to save them. Thanks. This is how you need to save your shared preference. Shared preference means what? Just storing the data and retrieve them whenever it is required. So this is how your data can be stored in your shared preferences. Okay, hope you all understood. Thank you all.